Hey everybody, good morning. It's Carpo. I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning and just couldn't get back to sleep. Felt like I was rested, I guess. So figured I'd make my video this morning before I'm awake, but it's this thought I've been having about integrity and how hard it is to have integrity. It sounds cheesy, but it's very difficult to live with a higher standard of values than the capitalist society. For example, when a person tells you, hey, we could do this and make this much money, and you say, well, I'm not really interested in money, you get a funny look from people. Or if I have a conversation with someone and we're talking about, say, like my boss asked me, what would you do if you won the lottery? I said, honestly, I don't want to win the lottery because I don't want to be rich, because that kind of money just makes people more, I guess it upsets people more. There's more to deal with. And most people wouldn't turn down a winning lottery ticket, and I wouldn't either. But I would like to find something productive for society to do with the money. And I was watching it was a Colbert Report yesterday, and it was John Oliver. He was doing an interview with a banker from America, a mortgage consultant, I believe. And the guy had this suit and tie and this attitude of, just kind of this New York accent and this whole idea of take what you can get what you can. We live in a capitalist society, take what you can get and get out. And then the other interview doing at the same time was with a bank from Canada. And they went back and forth, and it was a joke, of course, but it was true. The Canadians haven't had banking crashes like we have, and we think bankers run the whole world, but the truth is they run a majority of the European and US economies, but it's a big world. And there are other countries that choose to live with more integrity, and Canada's one of them. And this is why I think America insults Canada so much. Americans always diss Canada. Oh, Canada, those passive Canadians. They are working a system that we haven't been able to build up. America built up our country on others' hard work, and many Americans' hard work too. But what I mean is, with slavery built this country, that is not integrity. And so when a person decides to live with these values, you start to see other countries in a different way. You start to see people in a different way. And you start to realize that we've been not only blindfolded, as we all know, but they put those little hints out there that we need more, or that we've got to get something better or newer. So when a person chooses to say, well, I'm not going to buy a new one, I'm just going to fix the old one. Or, well, I don't really need that other job because I'm not that concerned about money. I want to see my family more. When people start doing those things, they get pushed out by society. We get, ridiculed for being the outcasts. And this is how secret societies formed. In the past. This is how many of the modern secret societies, or at least the ones that existed up until the 17th, 18th centuries, and longer, the basis was a group of people who lived with integrity and light and decided to try to help their fellow man. And when that was found out by the officials, they were usually persecuted for it. Philosophers were regarded as heretics in many cases, because they're going against the grain of society. They're going against this is the way it is and this is the way it should be. And it's sad. It's really sad. So these groups would meet under false guises, like as a tavern. The idea of meeting at the tavern, for them, that meant all the mystics would get together and they would talk in the park, sit out in the park across the street and talk about life. And it always reminds me of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, when they go to, they're traveling back in time to get all these guys for their book report, and they grab Socrates. And they pull up and they get out of the thing and they walk up and they're like, "Who's that?" Like, "That's Socrates." And they take him and he's standing around on these steps with this robe on, talking to all these philosophers, like holding the sands of time. And this funny idea that I get in my head that all these philosophers just stood around on the steps of Rome and talked about life, you know. But we look at those people now as these highly regarded people. Back then, they were heretics. They were going against the religion and the system, and this is going on today still. Each person who chooses to embrace a better way of living may be revered by his friends and family, but on the outside, the rest of the world looks at them as if they're wasting time. And that's fine, you know, because we all know the truth. When you die with nothing except your integrity and your values. So all the people building all their economic values and worrying more about money than people, they always pay in the end. You know, it may not be till their deathbed, but they do pay. And this is what I try to base my lifestyle upon, is what if people said when they're dying, you know, that they wish they'd done or wish they hadn't done. And usually it's, I wish I hadn't taken money as my religion. And so when you say that, like, I don't want money, people look at you like you're just a weirdo. But it was funny because that Canadian banker thing, they would ask Americans, "What do you think of bankers?" They'd be like, "Scum, garbage." And then they'd ask the Canadians. And then descriptions they used were just shocking. Honest, integrity, honesty, you know, kindness, the friendliest people around. Oh, Canadian bankers are great. It's just something I never thought I would hear, that any banker was great. But Canada has a lot of integrity. They really are a nation of integrity. And that's why the U.S., I think, is so threatened by that. When a person says, "Oh, I'm moving to Canada," you're like, "Oh, why would you leave the U.S.?" Well, why not? You know, I choose to stay because I think that there's maybe still some hope that we can pull out of this crap, but we're gonna have to pull each other up by our bootstraps and stop bashing each other for our different thought patterns. That's it. That's the root, you know. Just because I'm seeking a different way doesn't mean I'm a different person. And likewise, I'm trying to accept and tolerate all others who may see on a different path, but are still working towards integrity. It's the end game that matters. You know, what do you want? Are you after money, or are you after a better life? And it's harder to live with a better life, but it's much more rewarding inside. So I'm going to get ready to go to work and feed the cats, and I'm out. Peace.